Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today we're going to be looking at how AI is really starting to make waves in the world of YouTube.
Yeah.
And we've got this really fascinating blog post from blogwidow.com. It's dated March 6, 2025, and it's all about a new tool called TubeMagic.
Yeah.
So whether you're like a seasoned YouTuber or just kind of curious about the future of content creation,
Yeah.
this is the deep dive for you.
For sure.
We're going to be unpacking how AI is changing the game, and trust me, there's a lot to learn here.
I think so. It's really remarkable how quickly these tools are evolving. TubeMagic promises to be like a one-stop shop for YouTubers.
Right.
Handling everything from generating video ideas to optimizing content for search. It's pretty amazing.
It almost sounds too good to be true.
Right.
But let's break it down a little bit here. What exactly does TubeMagic do?
Right.
The article mentions a bunch of features, and I have to admit, some of them sound like they're straight out of science fiction.
Well, one of the core functions is video idea generation.
Yeah.
So imagine, hitting a wall with your content.
Yeah.
And suddenly you have an AI suggesting fresh, trending topics tailored to your audience's interests.
Wow.
It could be game changer for creators struggling with that dreaded creator's block.
Yeah. So no more staring at a blank screen for hours.
Hopefully not.
That definitely sounds appealing, especially for someone like me who thrives on a bit of inspiration.
Sure.
But how does it actually work? Does it just magically know what people want to watch?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay, so-
TubeMagic taps into the power of algorithms, which are essentially sets of rules that help computers analyze data and make predictions.
Right.
In this case, the algorithm sifts through tons of information about what's popular on YouTube, what your audience is watching, and what's currently trending to suggest relevant video ideas.
Okay, I'm starting to see the potential here.
Right.
It's like having a virtual research assistant constantly scouring the internet for the next big thing. But idea generation is just the beginning, right? The article mentioned something about script writing too, didn't it?
Exactly.
Okay.
TubeMagic takes it a step further by actually generating scripts for your videos.
Really?
So you can provide it with a topic and some key points, and it will craft a structured and engaging script, saving you hours of writing and brainstorming.
Wow, so it's not just about finding ideas, it's about bringing those ideas to life in a polished format.
Yeah.
That sounds incredibly time-saving.
Yeah.
I know a lot of creators, myself included, struggle with the writing process.
For sure.
But I have to ask, wouldn't using AI-generated scripts make all content sound the same?
Right.
Like, wouldn't we lose that unique human touch?
That's a valid concern and one that's worth considering.
Yeah.
While TubeMagic aims to streamline the process, it's crucial to remember that AI is a tool, not a replacement for human creativity.
Right.
The best approach would be to view these scripts as a starting point.
Yeah.
A foundation that you can then build upon and infuse with your own personality and style.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
It's about striking that balance between automation and human input, right?
Yeah.
Using AI to handle the heavy lifting while still retaining that personal touch that makes your content unique.
Exactly.
But let's be honest, creating engaging YouTube videos involves more than just ideas and scripts.
Sure.
There's a whole technical side to it.
Right.
And the article hinted that TubeMagic might be able to help there too.
You're absolutely right. One of the biggest challenges for YouTubers, especially those just starting out, is understanding how to optimize their videos for search.
Right.
It's all about making sure your content gets seen by the right people, and that's where SEO comes in.
Okay, for those of us who aren't tech wizards,
Yeah.
could you break down what SEO actually means in this context? I know it's important, but sometimes it feels like a secret code only a select few understand.
It's not as complicated as it sounds.
Yeah.
SEO stands for search engine optimization. And in simple terms, it means making your videos more visible in search results.
Okay.
Think about it. When you type something into YouTube's search bar, you want your video to be one of the top results, right?
Right.
TubeMagic aims to help you achieve that by suggesting relevant keywords and phrases to include in your video's title description and tags.
Okay.
It analyzes what people are searching for and helps you tailor your content to match those searches.
Ah, so it's like having a personal guide through the labyrinth of YouTube's search algorithm.
Yeah.
That could be incredibly valuable, especially in such a crowded platform where getting noticed can feel like an uphill battle.
For sure.
It seems like TubeMagic is trying to address a lot of the common pain points that YouTubers face.
Yeah.
But is it realistic to think that one tool can truly solve all of these challenges?
Right?
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, that's where we need to dig a bit deeper and consider both the potential benefits and the potential drawbacks.
Uh,
There's no denying that TubeMagic offers some intriguing possibilities, but it's important to approach it with a healthy dose of realism.
Right.
Let's unpack those pros and cons next.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's like anything, there's always two sides to the coin.
Exactly. So let's flip that coin and start with the positives.
Okay.
What are some of the biggest advantages that TubeMagic seems to offer? What stood out to you from the article?
Well, right off the bat, the time-saving aspect is huge.
Yeah.
Think about all those hours YouTubers spend, brainstorming, writing, and researching keywords. TubeMagic could potentially automate a lot of those tasks, freeing up time for creators to focus on other aspects of their work, like filming, editing, or even just taking a break.
Right, that resonates with me. I know a lot of creators are
Right.
juggling multiple responsibilities, so anything that can streamline the process and give them back some precious time is a major win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not just about saving time, it's also about increasing efficiency.
Mm.
Imagine being able to generate a well-structured script in minutes or
Mhm.
instantly optimize your video for search without having to spend hours researching keywords. That level of efficiency could be a game changer, especially for creators trying to build momentum and grow their audience.
Yeah, I see the appeal. It's like having a superpowered assistant working behind the scenes, handling all the tedious tasks while you focus on the creative vision. But let's not forget the other side of the equation, the potential downsides. What are some of the concerns that the article raised, or even that you have about TubeMagic?
One of the biggest concerns, and it's mentioned in the article, is the potential cost. TubeMagic starts at $47 per month, which might be a barrier for smaller creators or those just starting their YouTube journey.
Right.
It's an investment, and it's crucial to weigh the potential benefits against that cost.
That's a really good point. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution for someone with a large channel and a steady income. That cost might be justifiable. But for someone just starting out, it could feel like a significant hurdle.
Exactly. It's all about individual circumstances and priorities. And even if the cost is manageable, there's also the learning curve to consider.
Ah, right.
While the platform aims to be user-friendly, mastering all the features and understanding how to best utilize them will take time and effort.
So it's not just a matter of plugging in and watching the magic happen. There's
Right.
still a human element involved, a need to learn the system and figure out how to integrate it into your creative process.
Precisely. And that brings us back to one of the core questions we've been circling around. What does the rise of AI tools like TubeMagic mean for the future of creativity?
That's the big one, isn't it? It's fascinating to think about how AI is changing the landscape of content creation. On one hand, it opens up a world of possibilities, making it easier for people to create and share their work. But on the other hand, it raises questions about authenticity, originality, and even the very definition of what it means to be a creator.
You've hit the nail on the head, and it's a conversation that goes beyond just YouTube. We're seeing AI being integrated into all sorts of creative fields, from music composition to writing to visual art. And as these tools become more sophisticated, the lines between human and machine creation are starting to blur.
That's both exciting and a little bit daunting, don't you think? I mean, imagine a world where anyone, regardless of their skills or experience, could create high-quality videos, music, or even novels with the help of AI. What does that mean for the role of the artist, the musician, the writer?
It's a question that's still being debated, and there are no easy answers. Some argue that AI will democratize creativity, empowering more people to express themselves and share their stories. Others worry that it will lead to a homogenization of culture where everything starts to sound and look the same.
I can see both sides of that argument. It's like any powerful tool can be used for good or for ill. It all comes down to how we choose to use it, how we integrate it into our creative processes without losing sight of that human spark, that unique perspective that makes art so compelling.
It's about finding that balance, that sweet spot, where human ingenuity and artificial intelligence can complement each other, pushing the boundaries of what's possible without sacrificing the heart and soul of creative expression.
So back to TubeMagic. Do you think it leans more towards democratization or homogenization, or is it too early to tell?
It's definitely too early to make any definitive judgments.
Hmm.
The article we're discussing focuses primarily on the features and functionality of the tool,
Mm.
but it doesn't really delve into those larger questions about the impact on individual creators or the creative landscape as a whole.
That's true. It's more of a what it does rather than a what it means kind of piece.
Right.
But I think it's important for us as we're exploring this topic to keep those bigger questions in mind.
Absolutely. And as we continue this discussion, I think it's worth considering another key aspect of TubeMagic, that the article highlighted the multilingual support.
Oh, right. They mentioned it could translate video elements into over 95 languages now. That's a feature with some serious global implications.
Imagine the possibilities a creator could potentially reach a global audience without having to invest in expensive translation services. It could break down language barriers and connect people from all over the world through shared content.
That's a powerful idea. It speaks to the potential of technology to bridge cultural divides and foster a sense of global community. But of course, with any technology that facilitates cross-cultural communication, there's always the question of nuance and cultural sensitivity.
You're absolutely right. Language is so much more than just words. It's a reflection of culture, values, and lived experiences. And while AI translation has come a long way, there's always a risk of losing those subtle nuances in the process.
So it's not just about making content accessible in different languages, it's about ensuring that the translation is accurate, respectful, and culturally appropriate. That adds another layer of complexity to the equation, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and it highlights the need for human oversight, even in an increasingly automated world. Technology can be a powerful tool, but it's crucial to remember that it's ultimately a reflection of the humans who create and use it.
But I love that point. It brings us back to that idea of balance, of finding ways to harness the power of technology without losing sight of the human element. And it's a conversation that's relevant not just for YouTubers, but for anyone engaging with AI in any field.
Absolutely. And speaking of broader implications, this whole discussion about TubeMagic has got me thinking about the potential impact of AI on the creator economy as a whole.
That's an interesting thread to pull on what comes to mind when you think about AI and the creator economy.
On one hand, tools like TubeMagic could level the playing field,
Yeah.
giving independent creators access to resources and capabilities that were previously only available to larger companies or studios.
I see what you mean. It could be like a democratizing force, empowering individuals to create high quality content without needing a huge team or a ton of money.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And that could lead to a surge in creativity
right.
with more diverse voices and perspectives entering the marketplace. But of course, there's a flip side to that coin as well.
Always is. What's the potential downside here?
Well, there's the risk of market saturation.
Right.
If everyone has access to the same AI tools, it could lead to an overwhelming amount of content, making it even harder for creators to stand out and build an audience.
That's a good point. It's already incredibly competitive out there, and adding AI to the mix could just intensify that competition.
For sure, it's a complex issue with a lot of unknowns. It'll be interesting to see how the creator economy adapts to the rise of AI tools and what new opportunities and challenges emerge.
It definitely feels like we're on the cusp of a major shift, and it's hard to predict exactly where it will lead, but that's what makes this whole conversation so fascinating, right?
Absolutely. And this is where I think it's crucial to consider not just the economic implications, but also the artistic and ethical ones.
Okay, let's talk about that. What are some of the ethical considerations that come up when we talk about AI and content creation?
One of the biggest concerns is the potential for misuse. AI tools could be used to create deepfakes or spread misinformation, blurring the lines between reality and fabrication.
That's a scary thought. We're already grappling with those issues in today's digital landscape, and the rise of AI could make it even more difficult to discern what's real and what's not.
Right. And then there's the question of ownership and copyright.
Yeah.
If an AI tool helps create a piece of content, who owns the rights to that work?
Mm.
The user, the platform, or even the AI itself?
Those are some thorny legal questions that haven't really been fully addressed yet. It seems like the legal framework is still catching up to the rapid pace of technological advancement.
Exactly. And it highlights the need for ongoing dialogue and collaboration between developers, creators, legal experts, and policymakers to ensure that these tools are used responsibly and ethically.
So it's not just about creating cool technology, it's about considering the broader societal impact and establishing guidelines to prevent misuse or unintended consequences.
Precisely, it's about taking a holistic view, recognizing that technology is never neutral. It's always embedded in a social and cultural context.
Well said. This deep dive has been a whirlwind of information and insights. We've gone from the specifics of TubeMagic to the broader implications of AI in the creator economy and beyond. What are some key takeaways that you hope our listeners will walk away with?
I think the biggest takeaway is that AI is rapidly changing the landscape of content creation tools like TubeMagic, offer exciting possibilities, but it's crucial to approach them with both enthusiasm and critical thinking.
That's a great point. It's not about blindly embracing or rejecting AI. It's about understanding its capabilities, limitations, and potential impact.
Exactly. And it's about recognizing that this is an ongoing evolution. The tools are constantly developing, and our understanding of their implications is evolving as well.
It's a dynamic process, and it requires us to stay informed, engaged, and adaptable, and maybe a little bit philosophical, too.
I would agree. It's not just a technical discussion. It's a philosophical one about the nature of creativity,
Yeah.
the role of technology in society, and what it means to be human in a world increasingly shaped by artificial intelligence.
Those are some big questions, and I don't think we have all the answers yet, but I think it's important to keep asking them, to keep exploring, and to keep the conversation going.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's an ongoing journey of discovery, and I'm glad we were able to share this part of it with our listeners today.
Me too. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of TubeMagic and the implications of AI for content creation. We hope this episode has given you some food for thought and sparked your curiosity about the future of this exciting field. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.